After speaking with literally thousands of agency owners, it's become clear that there are three main ways to grow your agency. And in today's video, I'm going to be walking you through what those three main ways are. And I'm going to be breaking down the pros and cons for each. And then at the end of the video, I'm going to be giving you my score out of 10 on how effective each of those methods are to growing your agency. If you don't know who I am, my name is Lawrence. I've built and scaled two agencies, Lawrence Marketing and now Hey You, where we help other agencies to get more appointments on their calendar. So what are these three ways of growing your agency? Well, first off, we have referrals, and then we have paid ads, and then we have outreach. And I'm going to be breaking them down in that order of the pros and cons of each. So let's start with referrals. So the majority of people that we speak to, they rely very heavily on referrals and word of mouth. And when they get their agency to a certain size based off purely referrals, then they're obviously doing something very well, which is a blessing and a curse. It means that they become very reliant on referrals, and it's also frustrating to see because they're obviously very good at what they do. And if they just spent a little bit of time trying to push their agency through different client acquisition methods, then they're basically sitting on a gold mine. But they're just being too reliant on referrals. But anyway, that's my little rant over. In terms of the pros and the cons of referrals, let's start with the pros. It's very cost effective. It requires no work. It requires you to do nothing. You just wait for clients to land on your lap. That pro is also a con because what it does is it doesn't give you any control over the growth of your business. And I think that is the biggest problem when it comes to referrals and one of the biggest problems you can have in your business. If you don't hold the keys to the growth of your own agency, then you're in trouble because you don't hold the keys to the growth of your own financial security, financial future, and you're completely reliant on the goodwill of others to grow your business for you, which is just, in my opinion, a terrible, terrible place to be. Another con of referrals is that it creates a very weak business messaging because when people come to you from a referral, they're very warm, they know who you are, there's a lot of trust involved, and it means that you as a business, you don't need to have a very compelling messaging or offer to get people over the line and turn them into a paying client. And that's completely fine if you're going to continue relying on referrals for the rest of your days. But if you do then start wanting to run ads, start doing any form of outreach or any other client acquisition method, then you're going to be stuck because your messaging isn't going to be compelling enough to work on those platforms. The other problem with referrals is it's just not scalable at all. The reason so many people come to us and they start working with us is because they have no control over their growth. They cannot scale because all they can do is just cross their fingers and wait for people to come and basically knock on their door and say, I want to work with you. So if that is you, click that first link in the description and we will be able to help. But one big advantage of referrals is that they create very similar clients to your existing clients. If you're happy with your clients, that is great. If you're not happy with your clients, then generally speaking, people that refer other clients, they're going to be very similar. You do have a very high close rate on your calls, but you're not necessarily signing the right clients that you want, which is another problem that we see. A lot of people want to attract those higher paying clients, but they don't know how to, and they're just kind of waiting for that right type of client to come along. So there's the pros and the cons when it comes to referrals. It's definitely something that you should be trying to encourage in your agency, but if you're relying on referrals, then it's a bad place to be, basically. Hey, just real quick, sorry to interrupt the video, but I just wanted to let you know of our brand new free course that we have just launched that takes you through how to book more appointments on your sales calendar through cold email. Of course, it's completely free. It comes with a free community as well, where there's live calls where you can ask me anything, get your questions answered. The second link in the description is going to take you to the free course. As I say, completely free. And it's going to walk you through how to get success from your cold email campaigns. So I will leave it there and enjoy the rest of the video. The second client acquisition channel is paid outreach. And when it comes to the pros of paid outreach, it is very scalable. There's no denying that the more money you spend, the more things can scale. So it is very scalable and it is one of the best ways to get clients quickly, but the problem with it is expensive and your messaging needs to be extremely strong. So it very frequently doesn't work. And you hear all the time, paid ads don't work for my industry, Facebook ads don't work, this doesn't work, that doesn't work. And generally speaking, it's not the platform, it's the messaging that you're using the platform to distribute that message. And that message just isn't compelling enough for that platform. So you do need to have a very strong messaging. And if you go from referrals and then you start running paid ads, 9 times out of 10, you're going to come into a lot of trouble because you take take the same messaging that worked for warm leads and you send them out to a cold audience through paid ads, it just doesn't work. So that is a big con with paid ads. It is expensive, it is quite hard to set up as well, and it requires a lot of technology behind it in order to make your ads effective. So you can just kind of cobble together an ad and put it live, but then if you're going to want to make the most of it, you're going to need some form of automation to follow up with those leads, to call those leads. You might need an appointment setter to deal with the leads that are coming in. You're going to need to create a video sales letter, maybe a funnel, and lots of different technologies, something to track the ads, and all of that comes at additional expense as well. And another con when it comes to paid ads is the quality of the leads. You can tell the platform, let's take Facebook as an example, you can tell the platform to, target this particular type of person or people that are interested in this thing or that thing or the other, but you don't have complete control over who sees your message, who clicks on your ad, and who ultimately books in a call, which can create lower quality clients, which then has a knock-on effect of your retention rates, your pricing, and it causes a lot of headaches. Something that seems quite small and innocuous at the time, which is just not the ideal client booking in a call, then can lead to you having a client base of the wrong type of clients that you can't charge the right amount of money, and then all of a sudden you're running a business that you don't want to be running. So all of that can stem from just running paid ads, and it can be quite a painful scenario that rears its ugly head kind of 6-9 months further down the line. There's quite a few cons when it comes to paid ads, but it is a great way of growing if you're at the right stage in your agency, if you have your messaging dialed in. Another couple of pros when it comes to running paid ads is it allows you to get to market quickly, allows you to get that messaging out there very quickly, and it does build your brand awareness as well. Most people don't have deep enough pockets to kind of focus on brand awareness. They need an immediate / kind of short-term return on their investment, but that is paid ads. The third method when it comes to client acquisition for your agency is outreach. So there's many pros to running outreach, but there are a few cons as well. And I help agencies with outreach, so I'm going to be very biased. There are lots of pros, but there are a few cons which I'll cover now. So the main con is it takes time to set up. There is a period where you have to warm up emails and domains, and that can take time. Well, it does take time, and there's nothing you can do about it to speed up that time. If you try and shortcut that, you're just going to be shooting yourself in the foot. We warm up email addresses for a minimum of 4 weeks with all of our clients. It is going to take 4 weeks to get going. Another problem with outreach is it is difficult to set up. Depending on how you set it up, it can take a lot of work and time to configure domains, configure email addresses, and changing all those DNS records can be quite a complicated process. And if you don't get it right, then you're not going to get the deliverability that you need in order to be successful in your outreach. So there is a few cons there, and it's generally in the setup process. Now, when it comes to the pros of outreach, there are many, and the biggest pro is how cost effective it is. So there is nothing more cost effective when it comes to client acquisition than outreach. All you're paying for is domains and email addresses, a couple of softwares, and maybe if you're feeling, very lavish, you might have a virtual assistant to run the process for you. So it is very cost effective, and we're paying somewhere around between $10 and $20 per appointment. Now you compare that to paid ads, and you'll be paying at least 10 times more than that, if not 20 times. So it is way more cost effective to do outreach than any other form of client acquisition. It is also very scalable. You have your inputs, which is the number of emails that you send to the number of leads, and outputs is appointments booked in the calendar. And if you want to increase your outputs, all you need to do is increase your inputs. So what that looks like is sourcing more leads and buying more email addresses to send those emails from. You don't want to add too much strain on your existing email addresses, so it's always good practice to purchase more email addresses if you want to start sending more emails. So if you want more of the same, don't just add more emails and send more emails from the same email address. You want to be purchasing multiple email addresses to send those out. It's very cost effective. It's very scalable. The third pro to outreach is that it creates a very powerful message, and it makes you very attractive. Because if you can get outreach working inside your business, you can get all forms of client acquisition working. So too many times I see people go from running, relying on referrals to then they start running ads, and it just doesn't work. If you get outreach working for you, you're then going to be able to scale via paid ads pretty easily, because your messaging is enticing enough to stand out in a crowded inbox. It's going to be enticing enough inside ad platforms as well. So it creates a very powerful message. And then the last pro in my eyes to outreach is the quality of leads. It is the only client acquisition system that A, we've discussed in this video, but B, I can think of, where you get to hand select your prospects before you even reach out to them. Let's look at referrals. You are completely reliant on the person that is referring a prospect to you. You have no control over that process. You don't know who they are, you don't know what they are, and you just basically speak to whoever lands in your calendar. Same with paid ads. Yes, you can say, I want you to target web developers, but you get a million different types of web developers that will come into your calendar. Some that can afford your services, some that can't, some that might be the right fit, might not be the right fit. And as I said, that can have major knock-on consequences into your business further down the line when you're signing not the right type of clients. When it comes to outreach, you're able to literally hand select and cherry pick your prospects before you ever reach out to them. So when somebody gets onto your sales calendar, they are literally your ideal prospect. And if they're not your ideal prospect, then you've just done your lead sourcing incorrectly. So you have complete control over your calendar, the type of clients that you work with, and just how paid ads has a negative knock-on effect. When it comes to quality, outreach has a positive knock-on effect. You start working with the right type of clients that can afford your fees and afford what you're worth. Then you start to have an agency full of brilliant clients that are paying you a nice amount. And then what you're able to do is you're able to take that profit and use your proven messaging in paid ads to scale even further as well, while you continue to scale your outreach methods. That will then tick on to referrals, and life as an agency owner becomes way more easy to deal with. But you just can't do it the other way around. You cannot start at referrals, then move to paid ads, then do outreach. You've got to start at outreach because it creates that powerful messaging and it allows you to build a base of high quality clients. So as I mentioned at the start of the video, I'm going to be scoring those three methods out of 10, and I would give referrals a 4 out of 10. They are the worst place to be if you solely rely on referrals for your agency. You're in a very precarious place to be, and your agency is kind of built on sand. When it comes to paid ads, I would give that a 6 out of 10. Now, paid ads could move up to an 8 out of 10 if you've already done outreach. It is a great place to be, but you do need to be doing outreach first. So at the moment, I give it a 6 out of 10. And then when it comes for outreach, I give that a 9 out of 10. There is no perfect client acquisition system. They all have small downfalls. And when it comes to outreach, it is waiting that 4 weeks and doing that complicated configuration process to get everything set up and everything warming up. But once you do that, it is the best place to be. So there are my 3 client acquisition channels and the score out of 10, along with the pros and cons for each. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please hit that like button, please hit that subscribe button, and if you want more appointments on your calendar, then hit that first link in the description and we will explain exactly how we can help. Thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next one.